What's up, guys? It's Zafman1992, and today I'm going to be building a PC for you guys. Recently my boss asked me to build a computer for the downstairs office at the restaurant I work at, and this is what I've come up with in terms of parts. This is nothing special. It's a budget build. He just asked for one thing really, which was 8 gigs of RAM and a fast enough CPU. So from there I went ahead and bought the parts that I thought were good, cheap, and necessary for this build. So to start with all that, I went with an Intel Core i3. The model number, or the model, is 2100, and this CPU runs at 3.10 gigahertz, so pretty fast. It's a dual core. Then the motherboard that I decided to go with was an Asus P8H61-M. I don't know why Asus decides to make their names so confusing, but that's the motherboard I went with. The reason I like this motherboard was it was very cheap. It was, I believe, only $84, and it has a really great onboard video. I'll show you that in a little bit. The power supply I went with was a 450 watt Enermax, and I guess it's just one of their newer power supplies. I really like Enermax. If you guys watch any of my other videos, you know that my gaming PC runs one of these power supplies, and I have not had any trouble with it yet. Knock on wood. And I also went with a Asus DVD burner. I also went with a 500 gig Western Digital Caviar Blue. This is also a SATA 3 hard drive, but I do not believe, actually no, this motherboard does not have SATA 3 capabilities, so not a big deal. It'll still work on SATA 2, no problem. And then the one thing that they asked was 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I went with the Corsair XMS3 running at 1333, which is pretty fast. It's the fastest memory this motherboard can run. And then, to case all of that, I'm going to put it in a Cooler Master Elite 310. It's a pretty cool case. The reason I really liked it was $39 bucks, cheap as hell. Now for any of you guys who are really into budget gaming and like PC gaming but don't like spending a lot of money, look at that case. That's pretty awesome. I think that would be pretty cool to put a pretty sweet gaming system in. Anyway, so the tools that I've got for this build are simple stuff, just a little screwdriver kit I've got, my magnetic screwdriver, my anti-static wrist strap, and another little small screwdriver set. I really doubt I'm going to be using this screwdriver set, and probably not really that much that much, but that magnetic tip on that screwdriver will definitely be coming in handy. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so status update. I have now gotten the CPU onto the motherboard with the fan, nice and on there. As you can also see, this motherboard is not a full ATX motherboard, it's a micro ATX, so a bit smaller. It's actually a very small motherboard. Everything's fit on there, but still lots of room from what I see. If this was for gaming, absolutely no, it would be horrible. It would be absolutely horrible. Can you imagine trying to fit, you know, a GTX 590 there, hitting the RAM slots? Not very good for gaming, so not recommended for gaming, but for what this is being used for, it's great. Another thing I wanted to talk about when I said the onboard video is great, the reason I said that was because this is one of the, I don't know, few that I've seen at least, that have VGA on board, but also have DVI. So that means analog and digital. It's kind of really helpful because most motherboards nowadays just come with VGA, and really, who uses, you know, CRT monitors anymore, or an old LCD that even has that? Not many people. A lot of people are using DVI, and yeah, I'm sure you can get motherboards with just DVI, but Then again, there's the other argument that people who are building PCs or people who buy them, maybe they are still using CRT monitors. So I don't know. Anyway, you look at it, it's great for onboard video. As you can see, it's got your audio. That is not 5.1 by any means. Another thing is it only has one keyboard. It's a keyboard, mouse, all-in-one, which I think is fair. Who's really using the old keyboards and mouses from back then? And as you can see, there's six USB, one Ethernet, and then also optical and HDMI. Another great thing about this motherboard, you know, this thing I think would be a fantastic motherboard if you were into building a media PC and feel like going out and buying a $200 to $300 PC. So just another thing to think about: HDMI, VGA, and DVI. Fantastic for video, onboard wise, and your optical audio. Wicked. Wicked, wicked. Sorry guys, another thing that I kind of left out, that this only has four SATA slots. Again, no IDE. You know, finally starting to see motherboards with, oh, hold on, is that IDE? No, that's not IDE. So yeah, starting to see motherboards without IDE and whatnot, which is kind of nice. I don't know if it's nice or not, but you know, no one's really using an IDE drive anymore. Everybody's using SATA. And again, the only heatsink is on the south bridge. There's no north bridge heatsink, which again, I'm sure this thing doesn't create or have too much heat. Only one PCIe 2.0 times 16. Again, even if you are fitting a video card in here, I could see a major problem right off the get-go, that there's a good possibility that the video card will be hitting the RAM slots. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and fit in one of my older video cards in there to see if it really does, but the only thing that I had to complain about. So that was the last little tidbit I wanted to give on this motherboard, and let's move on. Alright guys, so I just finished putting the motherboard into the case and also the power supply into the case. As you can tell right now, tons of room in this case. Definitely one of the biggest reasons for that though is because it is a micro ATX motherboard. If it wasn't, it'd be probably a little bit tighter, but pretty cool, right? Everything's in there nice. There's a CPU. The RAM slots are really close to CPU. So in terms of heat, that could be a problem, but again, it's nothing too intense. It's not gaming equipment, so it's never going to get that hot. But again, lots of room. Alright guys, so I'm finished putting all the components in this Cooler Master case. There's a DVD drive up there, up at the top. Here's the rest of the case. Very slick, nice looking case. I'm really impressed with it. As you can see, it's shiny in the front, so you can see a reflection. Really nice. I'm going to flip it around to the back side here, show you the little bit of wire management that I did. The only complaint I do have about this case is right here you could see it, there's like this little, I guess you could say a little knuckle. I get why they did it, so you don't like hurt yourself on the edge, but the problem is that there is a really thin layer, like just a little gap between this and the door of the back case. So you have a really hard time closing the case. Like, these wires are really creating problems. Like, I gotta really push it to get closed, and it's kind of a pain in the ass because, you know, like as you see on my Antec case, all of my wire management is done in the back, and I love doing it in the back because you can't see it in the front. It just looks great. So that's my only complaint. See, I was able to stuff wires right up here, no problem, and that's fine. It'll close, no problem there. It's just here, and here is giving me a little bit of a problem. But other than that, it's an awesome case. Show you all the stuff inside here. So there's the inside of the case. As you can see, tons of room. Look at all this empty space. Just clean looking down there. Not a speck. Now here's a little bit of wire management I did down there. The hard drive sitting right there. Then I got this SATA cable coming through the back and around up there. There's the two SATA slots there. As you can see, the RAM and the CPU fan are very close. Like, I don't know, a couple centimeters. Sorry, America, I use centimeters, not inches. So yeah, that's pretty close. So any of the heat dissipating off of the CPU fan is definitely going to go on the RAM. So, again, this isn't being used for gaming, so I'm sure that's not even going to become that big of a problem. But, just another thing to think about. But other than that, it's a great looking setup right now. I'm loving it. For what it is, it's great. So, there you have it, guys. Windows 7 is installed on this PC. This was a really fun build for me. I really enjoyed it. It's always fun to do something different other than just gaming PCs. So, there you have it. Windows 7 Pro, 64-bit, installed. PC's finished. I could have done that in record time if I was actually trying, but I was lazy and did it really slowly. But nevertheless, sitting here now at 11 o'clock and ready to go to bed. So, thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, like this, please. Anyway, thanks a lot, guys. I'm Zapman1992, and I am out.